Welcome inside the State Champs Sports Network studio for coverage of the 2020 Michigan Cross Country State Finals. Not sure we'd get here, and although the event was a little unorthodox, at the end of it all, we had our boys and girls state champions. I'm Lauren Plant. This program presented by Lawrence Technological University. Since we're talking about runners, Lawrence Tech is looking for high schoolers to join their collegiate men's and women's track and field program. You can recruit yourself by going to ltuathletics.com. Another proud partner is the Michigan High School Athletic Association. We thank them for supporting state champs. Brian Salyers is a multi-state champion head coach from Milford High School. He'll be along a little later for his thoughts on what took place. But let's not waste any more time and get to the action from Michigan International Speedway.
No, next time.
Everything on the court, boys. Everything on the court.
It's going to be a good day. It's going to be
your last race too, buddy.
Take it hard into the finish. Leave everything on the course.
All right.
White
Dearborn on three! 1, 2, 3, Dearborn!
On your mark.
We start our cross-country state finals coverage with the boys in Division I. And what a start. The sophomore Hobbs Kessler from Ann Arbor Skyline. At the moment here, he ran the second fastest time in the 25-year history of the finals at MIS with a time of 14 minutes, 51.79 seconds in the first of two Division I boys heats. As we go now to the final stretch of the second heat, one of the top runners in the state, the junior Riley Huff, looking to break that time. Andy Wood by just over 2 seconds. He finished with a time of 14 minutes, 49.62 seconds.
It was really hard. I was basically dead once I hit the straightaway. But once I heard one of my coaches tell me I was on time and I looked at the clock, I knew I had to push it no matter what.
Romeo came in the top-ranked team in the state. The senior Xander Cobb had the fourth best time, finishing at 15 minutes, 32 seconds. Jack Kelke also placed in the top 10. Romeo went on to claim its first state title in school history.
It's amazing. We've been chasing this all year, and to finally get it, just warms my heart, honestly. All these guys deserve it so much.
This is just a testament to a lot of hard work over the years. I mean, it took a while to get there. We've had a bunch of top 10 finishes, but never really quite got over the hump, and they never steered clear of what they thought was possible this season. They always believed we would have a chance, and that's all we wanted, and we're so just grateful that we were able to do this. I'm so glad the state really worked their butts off to try to make this a meet.
You are here to have a great time, and if you win, then awesome. But you're here to have a good time. I am so proud of what you guys have done this season.
Let's see how the ladies did. And in the first heat, Birmingham Seaholm senior Audrey Daddamiel finished 5th at states a year ago, looking to end her high school cross-country career with a state crown. Audrey, still uncommitted to running college, had the best time at 17 minutes, 46.7 seconds to claim the Division I individual title.
I've been dreaming about crossing the line since honestly probably middle school, but really freshman year, when I was here, I was in the 60s, and I was like, oh my God, how do girls run so fast? And to have worked to put myself in this position where I'm contending for a title is something really special, and I've had a lot of good role models on the team and in my family that have helped me believe in myself so that I could get here. So I'm just really thankful that I have them.
Ann Arbor Pioneer, gunning for its second straight state team title, came in ranked the second best in the state. The freshman, Rachel Forsythe for the Pioneers, took first place in the second heat with a time of 17 minutes, 55 seconds. Her junior teammate, Cookie Ball, fourth among team runners. Ann Arbor Pioneer went on to claim back-to-back Division I state titles.
It was even more special than winning it last year, of course, with the setback of the pandemic and then setback with injuries on the team. We've just been growing all season, just incredibly, and today we just put it all out on the course and we pulled through, and it's super exciting.
This was unbelievable. We didn't expect it, and I mean, we knew we were pretty good, but because we didn't get to race a lot of teams this year, we didn't know how good. And we weren't ranked number one. It's surprising. The girls are super excited to win it second time.
Let's go! We won it.
Next, to Division II, and we start with the fellas. Fremont High School looking for its second straight team state championship. The senior Nathan Walker for the Packers finished 4th individually in last year's finals, cruised to victory here with a time of 15 minutes and 19 seconds. Walker also claimed all-state honors in all 4 years of his high school running career.
Feels pretty cool. It's been something that I've been looking towards for probably the last 5 years of my life.
The junior Connor Summers for the Packers, 4th among team runners, and they had 3 others place in the top 25. Fremont goes on to claim its 2nd straight Division II state crown.
It means a lot. A lot of these guys that were on our top 5 are seniors this year, and it means a lot to them. It means a lot to me as their teammate. Get to send them off with another state championship. But yeah, it just means a ton, and we're just a family.
To be the first time that Fremont ever wins state championships back-to-back, that's been kind of a secret goal of mine. And I didn't do anything but coach, but for these guys to do that for me is and for themselves is huge, and for the program.
Now to the girls. Petoskey, last year's state runner-up, going for its first state title in school history. East Grand Rapids came in the 2-time defending Division II state champs. Petoskey's Emma Squires finished 5th at states a year ago, and the senior ran the fastest time in the 2 Division II heats with a time of 17 minutes 54.56 seconds to claim the D2 individual title.
Amazing. I mean, I've been looking up to the people who have won for the past 4 years, kind of dreaming of being them, and it's kind of surreal that it finally happened.
Team-wise, Petoskey would have a solid performance with 4 other runners placing in the top 30. Petoskey goes on to claim its first ever cross-country state championship.
Feels fantastic. The girls have worked really, really hard for years. Been at the edge a couple times. It's really rewarding to see them get it.
This season is just really special because there was a lot of challenges, but to finish on a positive note just feels really good.
Did you record an unbelievable touchdown, a game-winning goal, or just a proud parent moment? Then we want your clip. Upload your video to the brand new State Champs Network app so we can feature it on one of our shows and give your player, team, and school the recognition they deserve. All it takes is just a few easy clicks, and every clip that is submitted will automatically be eligible for prizes. Download the State Champs Network app today for iPhone and Android devices.
This is the best weather I've seen in 20 years, so it's a sign. Correct? Come on, guys.
We go to day 2 at the cross-country state finals, and we begin with the boys in Division III. Benzie Central's Hunter Jones won the individual crown as a freshman in 2019, and he was the only member here to represent Benzie Central at states, but Jones would defend his crown with a time of 15 minutes, 28.96 seconds, nearly 30 seconds ahead of his nearest competitor.
Just feels great. It feels like all the work that I put in with my team during the season and all the workouts that we did really paid off.
As for team honors, St. Louis High School junior Aaron Bowerman finished 5th among team runners, had 3 other runners place in the top 20. Sharks go on to win their first state title since 2005.
We've been working so hard this year, and I mean, it was tough. Us and Ithaca were going back and forth in our TVCs. Things were looking pretty rough halfway through the season. After that, we just picked it up, and I mean, we've been hitting these workouts, and I think a big thing with us is that during the early spring when everything was shut down, us and the guys, we got out there and we really bonded and we got after the work, and I think that's the big difference between us and teams this year.
They've worked really, really hard all season long and really been building for this, and they fought through all the adversity that this season has held, and they stayed together and ran for each other all season long, and they were able to get it done today.
Let's go to the girls. Muskegon Western Michigan Christian's Abby Vanderkooy won the Division IV individual title as a freshman and as a sophomore. Now up to Division III to see if she can go for her 3rd straight state title. The 2-time All-American ran in the first heat in the finale, and she dominated from start to finish, finishing with a time of 17 minutes, 12.47 seconds, bettering her previous best time by more than 30 seconds. It was the top overall time in all 4 divisions in this year's finals. She's now a 3-time individual state champion.
I'm excited. I have a wall in my room where I have my title, and then a picture that WMC gave to me of me, and then now I can put another one underneath there. I hope to complete it.
Hart going for its 4th straight Division III team state championship, and the freshman Allison Enns and senior Savannah Ackley finished 2nd and 3rd respectively. Adriana Enns and Lene Ackley also placed in the top 10. Hart does it again, Division III state champs for the 4th straight year.
It's been totally amazing. I've just absolutely been loving it. It's been a really awesome experience, being able to win it 4 times in a row with all the senior girls, so yeah.
Going in, we're always cautious, optimistically cautious, because you never know come state finals day. We run hard, we take it one day at a time, one race at a time. So coming to the state finals, we knew that we had a good opportunity to bring the 4th state title home, and yeah, we're just glad it worked out for us today.
And finally, to the Division IV cross-country championships, we start with the boys. Carson City Crystals' Coleman Clark, the runner-up at the finals a year ago. Here, the senior pulls away from Saugatuck's Max Sharness, the only runner in D4 to break under 16 minutes with a time of 15 minutes 58.55 seconds to claim the individual title. Carson City Crystal also won the team honors as they captured its first state title since 1994.
We've been working hard for this all year. Our mantra, or hashtag if you will, has been TATSMED, which is think about the state meet every day, and we've been training for it every day. We started back when we were kind of quarantined and because of COVID, and we've just been putting in the work, and they've been doing an awesome job, and I'm so proud of those guys.
And to the girls, Lansing Christian, Beale City, and Hillsdale Academy, the favorites to win the D4 crown. To the first heat, Sarah Spalding from Weberville set the tone, going on in with a time of 19 minutes and 44 seconds. To the second heat, McKenna Scott from Maple City Glen Lake, 4th at the finals last year. The junior beat Spalding's time by 14 seconds. She claims her first individual state title.
It's amazing. I, as a freshman, never thought it'd be possible. I worked my butt off this season, and I just can't believe I did it. I had the great competition, Madison Bowles and Hayden Huron, and all the other girls. They're great, and good job to all of them.
Lansing Christian would have 3 place in the top 10 among team runners as they went on to claim their first cross-country state title in school history.
Feels really good. My freshman year we got 3rd by 3 points, so that was super disappointing, and we've been training this year to get 1st, so it's super exciting.
And when you make a goal at the beginning of the year and the goal is to do this and then it finally comes to fruition, feels like a lot of the hard work the girls put in and a lot of the hard work we put in as a program paid off. So, it's awesome. It's one of those once-in-a-lifetime experiences. It's hard to get that right group of girls together, or the right group of boys ever to do it, and so when you have it, you just want to take advantage of it.
All right, well, it was a wild ride for sure. To break it down for us is the 5-time cross-country state championship coach for Milford High School, Brian Salyers, back with us again this year. Thanks for being here. I want you to first explain, in terms of the setup, what made this year's cross-country state finals different than any other year? Long weekend, right?
Yeah, there were a number of procedures put in place to address the COVID issues. First and foremost, we went to a 2-day state meet, which is something we've never done. So Divisions 1 and 2 were contested on Friday. Divisions 3 and 4 were contested on Saturday. But along with that, there became some rules that we needed to put into place to prevent spectators. So there were 2 per athlete allowed, but that was in the grandstand only. They were not down on the infield area. We had gateways in and gateways out. There were no tents involved, no cars involved, limited groups. So it really changed the atmosphere a lot, but it still allowed us to participate and hold the event on a grander scale than what we've experienced during the regular season.
How did you guys pull it all off?
Credit for that goes to Cody Inglis of MHSAA. Cody and his crew worked day in and day out on creating a system that would be safe for all those, the competitors, the coaches, and the officials, and later on spectators, but also competitive for the athletes. And so Cody's guidance and leadership in this is really the standard. And we're really thankful that it happened because there were a lot of parties involved, but he headed it.
Absolutely. And I know there were a lot of, I'm sure, hand-wringing, before you got there and during it. Was it all going to get played out? But you know what? In essence, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, and I'm thankful for all those people that helped make that happen by following rules throughout the season and really giving our kids the opportunity to have something in the year 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about some of those kids. And I think what I'd like to do is just have you kind of, we'll talk broadly. So take all divisions. Let's start with the girls. Talk about, everything that went down through Division I through Division IV, and just give me your assessment on how the finals played out in terms of expectation and obviously some outstanding performance.
Yeah, and to start off with, to set the table, we did have two separate races. So the first race was the third place team from the regional and the individuals that qualified. The second race was the top 2 teams from each region, 18 teams in total. So that created a different environment than what these kids are accustomed to. The field size being 126 as opposed to typically over 250 created a different racing environment. So you saw that there was maybe some more room for people to move around in during the races. And then we had unseasonable weather for November. We're not accustomed to those type of temperatures, and so really is going to give a different feel to the races. But a lot of great performances, and that's the part that we want to see.
All right, so how about for the girls? Who was it that really stood?
Abby Vanderkoy is the premier runner in the state of Michigan currently, running in the Division III race this year, and that had a different dynamic because that affected the Division IV race because she was no longer participating, and it affected the Division III race where you had some high quality talent returning, and then, oh my gosh, this girl's here now too. So that impacted a lot of that. In the upper divisions, you saw I thought, an incredible team race in Division II with Petoskey and East Grand Rapids, flipping the script. Last year, East Grand Rapids came in and won while Petoskey was ranked number 1. This year, East Grand Rapids was ranked number 1, and Petoskey was able to prevail. So I think there was a great team storyline in that division. And then in Division I, you saw a great team battle that took place, but the premier individual took place in the race prior from Birmingham's Seahome, Audrey Daddamiel. And so that was an interesting kind of development there. So there were a lot of outstanding performances.
All right, well, let's get to the fellas. I know we did have a lot of outstanding performances, and you see one record on one day, and then the next day, it's no longer a record.
The run in the big divisions first was a change as well, right. By the way. The larger divisions running on Friday, usually they follow the smaller divisions as they go through. So when we got there and the course was in great condition and cooperative to fast times, it really started on the boys' side that very first race in Hobbs Castle Ann Arbor Skyline. Went out there and just hammered, running an individual time trial, and then that set the standard, and everybody knew that game was on. And hats off to Riley Ho after that, responding to that situation. And if you look at their splits and superimpose them, you find out that the race was tight all the way up to 3 miles, where they had the exact same 3-mile split. And Riley was able to close just a little bit faster. But we know it would have been an epic race between the two of them. They raced head-to-head, but both of them understood the circumstances, were thankful for the opportunity to compete, gave their best effort, and respected what their opponent did as well.
And I know we talk about the heat playing a factor, but in reality, most of the season you're running in warm temperatures, so it really is nothing new.
It's a transition because we've been running in colder temperatures and the kids have been bundled up. I mean, you go back the last week, it was snowing and things like that. It's that transition that makes it uncomfortable for them. If it was warm Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you go into the race, it's a different scenario. But it really does kind of change right in that last minute, and it wasn't unbearable, but it certainly made some people uncomfortable.
Right. Well, 2020's in the books. We did get through it. If you had to just kind of look at the season as a whole now, how would you kind of and how will you talk about this season in the future?
Well, it was very unique. It forced us to examine our sport from a different perspective. We went away from the large festival, invitational settings to a more dual meet type of calendar and schedule. People found the good in the opportunity to compete. So I think the spirit was very strong. And I think the kids appreciated the opportunity to get out and run with each other each day, and every time they got an opportunity to lace them up and race an opponent, they welcomed that opportunity. So I think there was a lot of thankfulness in the season. It was also interesting to see as we got down to the end, that it still was one of those seasons that it prepared them to run great at the state finals and to put on a big show. So I think that the performance level, while it may not have showed every week in the newspapers or online, at the end it kind of came together and said, you know what, no matter how we do this, we can do this really well.
And how great was it, and maybe even challenging to a certain extent, for those athletes that were robbed of their spring season, the distance athletes that didn't get a track season under their belt, which normally would just transfer right into a cross-country season. They had to kind of do everything on their own and then come together.
And I mean, and to be very honest, there were coaches out there that talked early in the season, not knowing if the season was going to extend beyond September, that were like, we got to push the pedal right now because we got to run as fast as we can when we're given the opportunity. We don't know if there's going to be October or November. And then there were coaches that stayed the course and said, let's cross our fingers and hope we get a full season and let's maximize the whole experience.
And we all look forward to getting them to have a spring season this year.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, and that would be outstanding, and we'll be looking forward to it, and we'll talk about it right here on State Champs. I want to thank Brian Salyers for being here. We thank our sponsors, Lawrence Tech and the MHSAA. I'm Lauren Plant. Thanks for watching.
State Champs at the state finals is presented by Lawrence Technological University and Lawrence Tech Athletics. For everything LTU, visit ltu.edu. You can recruit yourself to any of the Lawrence Tech collegiate athletic teams by visiting ltuathletics.com. Also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, a proud partner of the MHSAA.